Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Soumya and I hope you guys are all keeping well, keeping yourselves safe and staying indoors. Today I'm here to give you a few tips on how to be smart with your money if you are studying in Australia. And here are a few of my tips. So tip number one be to get a casual job. Now, getting a casual job in Australia is super easy. At least it was that ways for me. I didn't have a very hard time finding a job when I first came here. I think I came here in August and I got my first job in September. So it took barely a month. So it was easy peasy. And do not get lured by the cash in hand jobs. This is illegal, so do not go for cash in hand jobs. That is my suggestion. You can choose to take it or you can choose to ignore it, but that is what I feel. So getting a casual job always helps. I remember the first job was paying me around between $24 to $25 an hour. I did say that I was earning $26 an hour. It turns out that I was wrong. I still feel that it is a pretty decent amount to earn, considering the fact that you'll be earning nearly 10 to 12 hours a week. Just don't let your grades suffer. Always make sure that you are establishing the right balance between your university life and your work life. That is what I also said in my previous video. It's because I completely believe in it. You need to put more focus on the university than you are accentuating upon your work, because university is going to pay you off in the long run. It is going to get you a good job. It is going to make you earn a lot more money than you will be earning while you're studying. So get a good job, but don't forget to maintain a good balance between your work life and your university life. Tip number two would be to choose your super wisely. Now, superannuation accounts, for those of you who do not know what they are, basically if you are earning more than $450 a month, I think, then your employer has to pay up to nearly 9.5% of your earnings to your super fund. And this super fund in turn invests the money obtained on your behalf and sort of uses the compounding effect to possibly give you excellent results. Now, what I did was that I did not do any research when I first signed up for my current super, because nobody told me about this. So I went for the super that my employer was with. I just went with it. I didn't think much. You choose your superannuation account wisely and research before you sign up with your first employer, then it can pay off in the long run, meaning that correct super or the best super will give you higher return rates. Say for instance, when I got my first job, had I researched and gone for better super than I actually went for, then I would have gotten say 5.5% of return in the year 2017 and 18 instead of getting a 5% of return. There I lost nearly 0.5% of the amount that my company was paying to my super. So always research on the superannuation account that you want to go for. My third tip to you would be to budget everything to the T. Now, I am an excellent planner. I am so proud of myself that I've been doing this since I was in 11th grade. I had this habit of maintaining small diaries, pocket diaries, keeping it with myself, and I used to write all the to-do lists and tick them off or maybe cross them off once I was done with the task. And that sort of also led me to financial planning and budgeting. I'm still old school in that regards because I like to maintain physical planner and I do not like using any of the softwares or the apps that are available. There are plenty of them available, and if you are comfortable using the applications, then go for the apps. Doing this actually helps a lot. Say for instance, I need to track how much I spent and how much I earned in the month of February. I just keep doing this whenever I get time, and then I sort of highlight all the expenses that I didn't actually need. So this way I always keep myself on check and I really like this idea because I have been able to save a lot of money up until now, and I am pretty happy with the amount that I've saved up. I would suggest budget everything and do not spend on things that you think, say for instance, you are going out with your friends, right? And all of your friends are spending money without thinking about it much. So just don't be peer pressured by anything. If you want to save up money and invest it later, then focus on saving the small amounts, because usually from what I have witnessed from one of these things over the years is that small teeny tiny spendings that we make on a day-to-day basis, like say for instance, I'll give you an example. I reckon 2 years back I had this obsession with coffee, and I didn't like the coffee that I made at home. I had this habit of buying coffee every day. Like the moment I'll reach the university, my first task was to get coffee for myself. And I was spending like $4, $4.5 depending on the cafes and their rates. And eventually by the end of this month, when I calculated how much I had actually spent on my coffee, it was around $120 to $200, which is a lot of money to be spending on coffees. My fourth tip to you would be, and this is for people who are trying to save up money for any purpose whatsoever, anywhere in the world. This tip will work for you. Do not eat outside. Just cook at home. Take that lunchbox with you to your work. Meal prep. Plan the meals, cook one day a week, and save all the meals for the rest of the week. Basically in Australia, I'll tell you what the scenario is. In Australia, if you're a loner like me and are comfortable going out and eating on your own, you'll be spending somewhere between $28 to $38 on one meal. And that's not even including the entrees, the mains, and the desserts. It's just for one main that you'll be spending around between $28 to $38 in a decent restaurant. Drinks, you'll be spending nearly about $15 to $19 on one drink. What I'm trying to say here is, even if you try and act smart and utilize all your student perks, get hold of all the coupons that you can and buy stuff, it is just not helping you. Because say for instance, if you are buying a $30 pizza for a discount price of $20 and eating it for one whole day, it suffices you for one whole day, right? But instead, if you go to Coles or Woolies and buy items for that $20, then you'll be able to buy onions, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, cat food, and I don't know what not, for less than $20. So you are going to save a lot of money if you are meal prepping and cooking at home. Cooking is an excellent therapy. This is what I try to do. So whatever I'm feeling like eating, right, I have these 3-4 channels that I always refer to for recipes. I would look up a recipe on YouTube and make it at home. It teaches me a new thing. I can remake it whenever I want now because I know the recipe and I have tried it and tested it. And even if I didn't like what I made, I would still be satisfied that I spent, say, $4 on the meal instead of spending $40 on the meal and realizing that I would actually not like the meal. So cook at home and do not eat outside. So those were a few tips for you if you are trying to be smart with your money while you're studying in Australia. Do let me know about the tips that you actually resonated with. Let me know if you do practice it yourself, and if you are not practicing it, I would highly recommend to do it now, because saving money really serves you if you are trying to grow your money. If you don't have any money saved up, you won't be able to invest it further and then use the art of compound interest to grow your money. So I hope that you liked my tips, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye!